Hello and welcome back to another housing video with me, Meoni, for Final Fantasy XIV. Today we're looking at 3 more housing items as we're wrapping up our preview of all of the housing items added in patch 7.4. I don't think there's many more than what we've covered, so I think I've covered all of my bases, but let me know if I've missed any. Specifically, we're looking at 3 items. We're looking at the Adventurer's Effects, which is a diable tabletop item, the Sampler Board, which is a tabletop housing item that is contains consumables, 10 charges of food, so it has a before and after it's been eaten. And we've also got the Steaming Stew Bowl, which is again the same 10 consumable charges of this tabletop food item. So let's show you where we got these. For the first 2 items, you're going to need both the Orange Crafter and Orange Gatherer scripts, because we're over here in Solution 9. So if you obviously submit collectibles for Orange Crafters and Gatherer scripts, you can go to the Scrip Exchange, and if we go to the Scrip Exchange and we choose on this tab the for Crafters first, the Master Recipes, Materials, and MISC, and then choose that of the other Orange scripts, if we scroll down, then you'll see that one of the new items is the Sampler Board. So that obviously is 500 Crafter scripts, which isn't too expensive. And the other item then is obviously our Gatherer script, Regional Folklore, Materials, and MISC. And then if we scroll down again to the Orange Scrip Exchange for that, from turning in collectibles from Gathering that net you Orange Gatherer scripts, you'll see in addition to an item we've already looked at before, the Frosted Topiary, for only 500 Gatherer scripts we can get the Adventurer's Effects as well, which is a diable tabletop item. And if you're curious about where to get the Steaming Stew Bowl, this is a level 100 basic culinarian craft here. So just being level 100, using mountain salt, upland wheat flour, giant potato, carrot of happiness, raptor shank, and ovibos milk. Is that how you pronounce that? Ovibos? Ovibos? And that will net you the consumable tabletop stew bowl. Alright, first item on the list then is the Adventurer's Effect. So let's have a look at this then. And it is a big old box of stuff. Let's put it on the floor, actually. It's probably easier to see inside of it. Inside of here, we have all manner of different things, including a quill in the background there, or a feather, I'm not sure which. A lantern, which sadly doesn't turn on and off. I kind of wished it did. Letters and correspondence from different peoples around the realm, probably. And a sealed with a green ribbon letter there. And some kind of weird artifact as well. I'm not really sure what that is. Could be a box maybe, or it could be something, you know, like a stone of time or something. I have no idea. Also on another side, we've got a little symbol here with a little flower, petals, that's kind of like rubbed off over time, sort of repurposed drawer of the adventurer's gear. Very cool stuff, actually. So if you're into your little knickknacks, this is a perfect item for you. And of course, being tabletop, we can whack it on a table, obviously. This is also the only diable item in today's video. And as you will probably have guessed, it is the box itself that changes color. Of course, there's a better look of the design there as well, which is kind of deliberately washed out, almost like a printed label that has faded with time. Very interesting. Less wood grain effects than I probably would have been used to. So brighter colors are going to look a little bit strange, perhaps. But yeah, you can get away with some nice colors to match with other furnishings that you may have. It's a shame that a lantern isn't glowy, but, you know, that's just part of it, I suppose. Next up then, in addition to that, we also have the 2 food items. So the sampler board first. And look at this sampler board. If you've not eaten yet today, then you're probably going to be made hungry by this, or at least maybe. It almost looks like a little bit of like little crackers here, a bit of salmon on here, at least that's what I think that is, on a leaf with some lemon. We've got presumably what looks like garlic bread in the middle. That looks really nice. We've got ourselves some kind of ham or something on here. Like a bruschetta kind of thing. We've got some cheese, tomato, and some goop. I don't know what that is. It kind of looks a bit like spinach. And then, of course, we have what can only be described as olives. I do like olives, actually. I used to hate them when I was a kid, but they're really cool. And then a bunch of nuts, like a cashew nut there, Different kinds of nuts then in a little bowl. That is just a really nice looking item, isn't it? And we're going to completely destroy it just to show you that you can remove the items. Now, the question is, does it remove all of the items cleanly, or does it leave crumbs behind? Okay, and it leaves them cleanly. I'm actually really surprised at that. I thought almost for certain that there was going to be something left behind. In fact, I suppose there is. There's the little olive stick then. The little pokey stick that you can chew olives off, still in one of the bowls there. The bowls remain, and the board gets cleaned. So if you're looking for something like this that you can put your own items on, because we've got lots of little tabletop knick-knack items, especially kitchen items and foods, you could probably put them on this if you want to have a slight difference. Yeah, really cool. It would have been cool if this was dyeable. I know, obviously, that's not likely considering it's a food item, but it'd be cool to change the color of the actual serving board, perhaps. But yeah, some nice detail on this. A little item to add to your kitchen space or serving space if you've got guests. And with that placed on the floor, let's look at our other item, the steaming stew bowl. But I have to say, those chunks of meat and veg in there look absolutely delicious. I can only imagine that's like a piece of carrot, the way that it's been cut, but it's just, yeah, I suppose it is the carrot of happiness. It's just enormous, isn't it? So I forgot how big the carrots actually were from Best Ways Burrows, but I love the fact that's reflected, because you think, oh, well, carrots should be a lot smaller than that, but remember that these are Leporic grown carrots. I bet that's quite a weird mix, actually. And then we've got the meat in there as well. Yeah, I don't know. Broccoli, not a fan of. Creamy soups, not a fan of. Yeah, stews and soups aren't my thing. We've got ourselves a little spoon on the side there as well. Some decent depth to this. This one I am actually quite excited for, because the usability of a semi-filled sphere in a cone shape is quite useful, actually, in housing. And yeah, look at that. Also, a nice little extra touch. When you finish off the bowl of stew, instead of the spoon still resting on the side, it gets placed in the center. So yeah, if you were looking for just this particular shape, just bear in mind if you consume it all, the spoon/ladle gets placed inside that of the bowl. Very nice. Again, would be lovely if that was dyeable, but not a bad item at all. I'm sure there's several things I could do with that. And if I'm looking for something like, you know, washing that needs to be done on a sink top, for example, yeah, that'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Like a nice RP way of doing it in a restaurant, having both forms. So I do like the fact that the spoon moves. But there we go then. Those are the items then. I think that's the last housing items that we needed to look at in the patch. There's quite a lot of really cool stuff in patch 7.4, and a lot of it is added to crafters and various vendors. Quite easy to obtain a lot of this. There's also quite a lot of deep sea voyage stuff, but you get some good items for your time investment. And there's a lot of nice little items to add detail to various areas, and especially here with like kitchens and diners and restaurants, that kind of thing. But yeah, let me know if you've picked up any of these yet, or if this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. More videos on Final Fantasy XIV to come, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.